A couple of weeks into autumn, it feels very much like a summer's day in Sydney. The temperature approaching 30 degrees, and as a result, we'll have drinks breaks in this knock-on effect New South Wales Cup game. To start your round 2 Super Saturday, it's the Roosters, and good to see their fans in nice and early against these men, the Warriors, who won last week against Newcastle 42-20. That's the way they line up today under Slade Griffin. We're looking forward to seeing Jazz Tevaga make his return from injuries. He'll hope to play a lot of NRL this season, but this is game 1 back for Jazz Tevaga, Mark Carroll.
Yeah, really looking forward to seeing him come back. I used to love watching him play in NRL first grade, and it's an opportunity now to knock on the door to the Warriors and say, yeah, I'm back, coach, but as I said, he's coming back from injury, but it's all about confidence. I'm sure he'll get it in this grade. He
missed the last 5 games of 2022, had post-season surgery. Then a hernia problem complicated his return, but he gets here today. Jazz Tevaga, who will add to the middle forward stocks, the utility stocks of Andrew Webster and the Warriors as this season develops. Good to see Jazz Tevaga bringing some real experience, as does Freddie Lussick, the Warriors New South Wales Cup team. Jazz 108 NRL games, Freddie 22. Of course, he spent time at the Roosters, bit of time at St George Illawarra as well, and begins his 2nd season as a Warrior. The former Beacon Hill Bear, the 22-year-old in the hooking role for the Warriors today. And the Roosters back in the New South Wales Cup for the first time since 2005. Aligned previously with Newtown and Wyong and Norths, which they still are for another year. But here they are, a New South Wales Cup team in Roosters colours, and branded the Roosters proudly once again, Mark Carroll.
Yeah, it's great to have them in this comp. It's great to have their own identity. They're a feeder club to their own club without being the Roosters. So, as I said, showtime out there. There's time to impress, so let's see who can stand up and be counted.
Beaten last week by West's Magpies at Leichhardt, 44-18. It is going to be a development season for the Roosters Cup team. Bit of a scramble to get ready, and the talent diluted between Norths and the Roosters, with a slight leaning towards Norths given contractual obligations. We wish the Roosters well today. A sprinkling of World Cup representatives across their lineup, and we're underway on another Super Saturday. 10.5 hours of rugby league ahead. Plenty of preview and review along the way. And thank you for your great numbers watching in week 1. And the Roosters will look to get through this first set without a mistake, given the completion rate last week of only 58%. Hodge with that carry. He'll look to play a leading role, the Italian international, but straight away, last week's problems come back to haunt them, Spud.
Yeah, it certainly does, but in this heat, you don't want mistakes, especially when you're a pack, just keep punching in the scrum. But
scrum in the middle.
Yeah, it's going to be a test for the Roosters to see what sort of attacking ability the Warriors have got.
This is a look at it in replay. The defence had dropped away, and the grippo had just been sprayed a bit too liberally pre-game, Mark Carroll.
I've been there. The ball stuck to my hand once. I just couldn't. I was doing air swings.
One of your favourite stories. The ball would not come away from your hand. So the Warriors are gifted a golden opportunity here. Sanelli or Cusatino with a spirited carry. And now, with their first possession, the Warriors make a blue. Or Cusatino can't believe it. He's a frustrated man. There was a wonderful chance early in this game, and the Warriors blow it straight away.
Yeah, there certainly was. But I'll tell you, I give number 6 Farah. I'll tell you what, he's lucky to knock himself out. It was a left shoulder tackle. That's the problem with these young blokes. They put their head in the wrong place, but thank God they've got the ball back at the Roosters. But that young man, was a great hit.
So Nella or Cusatino on a wing for the Warriors, Setu, the other man on the extreme. He's closest to camera on the left wing, Setu. 7 tries to 4 last week for the Warriors in their win against Newcastle. And completion's the problem for the Roosters against Wests. This time Hodge will look to get through play the ball correctly. It's another spirited carry, isn't it? Dragging in 3 defenders. Jazz Tevaga was one of them. And across halfway, the Roosters. no doubt delighted to be back at their home venue. Of course, the NRL team played twice here late last season, both against Souths. A win and a loss. And they look to complete here, the Roosters. The kick goes high. The sun is a factor here for the men at the back. And the Warriors get through it safely. It was Tane Tuapiki with the catch and carry.
There was a nice set of 6 there, do a great kick, but now they can sort of compress the defence. A couple of big runs. These are the hardest runs off the back fence here, Matty.
Tuapiki, the fullback, we saw him pre-season in exciting fashion. He's been elevated to the top 30, and he'll be happy to hear that whistle. The arm out in favour of the Warriors. Kieran Irons is your referee today. And that's an element where the Roosters will need to be really good. Not just discipline with ball in hand and limiting errors, but also conceding penalties.
Yeah, that's a coach killer. We had them in a good position, they'd say, and now they'll let them out with the old piggyback.
Good contact, but an offload here. And the Roosters through Joseph Taipari. Make the tackle, and now crossing halfway, the Warriors. Zion Mau, the 19-year-olds.
Good ball.
Far in that 5/8 role. Last couple of years at Wynnum Manly for Ben Farr in the 6th, the recipient of the pass right now. On he goes for Tavanga. Straight and hard. I've seen him used in multiple roles at NRL level. What does Andrew Webster have planned for a fit firing Jazz Tavanga as this season goes on? The ball comes out the back, ruled to have gone backwards, so play on here. The inside ball, Tuapiki! Lightning speed, Tane Tuapiki runs onto the inside pass and streaks away. The Warriors, in a blink, are gone and over the line first.
As I said, Matty, you can't make mistakes in these games, but I'll tell you, the penalty, and then they got great field position, but Tuapiki, he's got some pace, but the inside ball is so Warriors-like. You see the way they play in first grade. They throw the magical pass inside. They practice this at training. They're natural freaks, and for now, the Warriors 4-0 with the kick to come. Great ball.
Wonderful ball from Ronald Volkman. The spine combining Volkman to Tuapiki.
Was the offloads have been causing this, Matty. It's just for the inside ball. Looked out the side, but it was just the fence on the inside for the Roosters. You got to work on the inside. As soon as the ball passes you got to keep moving. Otherwise, there'll be a hole like that until Tuapiki. Too fast, too strong.
Tane Tuapiki, Rookie of the Year in the Queensland Cup, but bigger than that, the Petro Civoniceva medalist.
Wow.
In the Queensland Cup last season. Some great numbers around his play to earn those awards and be earmarked for bigger and better things at the Warriors. As I mentioned, elevated recently to the top 30, at least until the end of 2024. The club has an option for 2025 as well, so they've spotted the speed and excitement of Tane Tuapiki. The man who set him up, Ronald Volkman, adds the extras, and we say good afternoon, sideline Nico Paharilio.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Incredible speed there from Tane Tuapiki. Was involved in the Gold Coast Titans pathways system when he was younger. Spent time at the Burleigh Bears, where, as you mentioned, Matty, won the Petro Civoniceva medal for Queensland Cup Player of the Season. You mentioned the numbers as well. 22 games, 22 try assists, 14 tries of his own, and 150 metres per game. Beautiful evasiveness to score last week. He's got another one here today.
Yeah, well done, Nico. Those numbers, they're worth highlighting, aren't they? Scoring 14, assisting 22, so 36 tries. He has his fingerprints all over last year in the Queensland Cup.
It's amazing the amount of fullbacks who have got such pace. You look at Walsh last night. That was fantastic, and Tuapiki, exactly how Walsh runs.
It's a good comparison. It was that sort of speed off the mark. Now, Kalani going, the vice-captain of this Warriors lineup. Michael Seo, the leader, is Tuapiki again. So a bit of age, a bit of experience in the leadership. Michael Seo, Kalani going. But here's Volkman going high towards the northern end of Allianz Stadium. And the catch is a good one from Ethan King. 10 metres out from their own line.
You certainly can see the pace of this game's already, we've only been going 5 minutes, but a lot of the Roosters players walking back, for the attacking position.
So carry from Ethan Clark-Wood, backed up here by Vuate Karawelevu, the Fijian international who attracts a penalty.
Roll to the side.
Very much out of the Fijian mould, Vuate Karawelevu. Big and strong, athletic looking. If he finds open space, we look forward to seeing how much speed goes with the rig, Spud Carroll.
Yeah, it's amazing what these young blokes, they do so much power work, Matty, especially in their legs. They call it leg speed, but they're just so dynamic when it comes to defence and running the ball. Great hit.
Another mistake by the Roosters.
And he regathers it.
So the mistake from Dylan Clifford. Yeah, last week, 20 of 34. That
Good
was the
hit.
completion rate, 58%.
That's an example of how you hit someone. Not in the head, that was shoulder to shoulder. It's a really good hit. And the amount of power it comes through, knocked the ball out. But the best thing about that, Matty, I love seeing is with the passion of players coming over and patting their mate on the backside or rubbing him on the head, because it just brings unity.
This is a curtain raiser next up to start our NRL today. Roosters, Warriors, straight into Dolphins playing at KO Stadium, Redcliffe against the Raiders. And the Storm against the Bulldogs tonight on Fox League. Another appetising Super Saturday ahead.
How's your tips going?
Terrible.
I'm struggling.
Kalani Going isn't struggling. Another strong carry back towards the middle of the ground. Pass from Tavanga to Zion Mau. Far. Again going, twisting his way, threatening to break the line. Took a good tackle from Eliel Zakam. Now, another carry from Mau.
Good ball.
Volkman kicks out towards the wing of Karawelevu, who didn't get a good grab at the ball.
Hand over, both going for the ball.
Instead it was Sanelli
Hand over.
or Cosatino.
It's not quick, just wait.
But the
Just wait.
possession
No.
will go the way of the home team, and they'll have to work it off their line.
Yeah, it's amazing the athleticism, Matty, of these wingers these days, the way they come across. They're like AFL players. They put their hands up high, but the kick was dynamic. It was the right height, right width. Now they've got to put the big defensive set. The Warriors, it's a tough game. Now another piggyback.
Yeah, I understand, but he makes... No, it doesn't take you out of play. You just can't make contact off the ball. Right, you can't have that. No, I think it was unnecessary contact.
Here it is.
Over here,
Michael
fellas.
Seal,
Over here.
the Warriors captain, just inquiring, and Kieran Irons giving the Warriors leader his explanation. A penalty gratefully received by the Roosters, who were under pressure there. There was some intent in the
halfway
line
between
speed
you
from the
guys.
Warriors, and the penalty gives the Roosters their passage out of danger.
It was a perfect position to really put some pressure on the Roosters, but as you said, a piggyback lets them out. 50 on the 50 line, second tackle.
Good offload from El Zakam. It's going to take a few more metres. It was Jordan Swan gratefully receiving. Now they angle towards the middle of the ground. Listen to the contact. Up quickly on a hot day. Willing workers, it was Dylan Clifford wearing the shoulders of the Warriors.
Good ball.
Move 11, mark it straight. Go.
Siwa Wong, as we highlighted pre-game, a player to watch, but he's a little enthusiastic there. The rush play the ball, the incorrect play the ball as a result. And again, Spud, they fail to get to the end of the set.
Yeah, it's, the coach will be fuming upstairs, but what these players are trying to do, man, they're trying to speed the game up, but you've got to get up and do the basics. Get up and play the ball. This is way too quick. You put the ball down, and it's going to be a penalty.
3 of 6 now, the Roosters. And Siwa Wong, there he is.
Don't wipe it, mate.
Started
Just
last
get a
year
trainer. Get a trainer.
in
Roosters
SG
trainer.
ball or under-19s. Ended the year playing for Fiji at a World Cup. Comes into 2023, part of the Roosters top 30. The NRL debut is coming. Last season, 10 games, 3 tries for North Sydney in the New South Wales Cup.
Bit of a stoppage in play at the moment. The forwards be loving this. They'll be sucking worms out of the grass, Matty. There's a bit of a claret coming out of one of the players here. But like I said, as a pack, you're going, how good's this? Get the big ones in, but here they go again.
Just a reminder, we are having drinks breaks around the 20-minute mark of each half. The closest stoppage to that point.
Can we have one too?
You're always able to have a drink, Spud.
Time on. Break.
Now, again, it's Cosatino looking for work.
Steady,
saw that tackled in the opposition half stat, heavily in favour of the Warriors. They've dominated possession. Their completion rate 4 of 5 so far. And Tavanga just goes flat and short. Zion Maiu. Chatted with Zion just to check the pronunciation pre-game spot. A 19-year-old, but speaks and conducts himself with great maturity. And he's excited about his season ahead. The man of Samoan heritage who has family and friends watching from Auckland. Involved in this promising attack again that gets even more promising now.
Yeah.
So a high shot here from the Roosters will allow the Warriors basically a full set in the opposition 20.
Yeah, it's an opportunity here, but for the Warriors, they just can't keep giving penalties away these sides. So I said the heat will suck the energy out of them. You just can't keep turning the ball over. Whoever drops the ball the most today will be the loser.
Now Maiu again, and that will run into the NRL game to follow. A warm afternoon in Sydney. Tavanga. Right in front of the posts. In great position again, the Warriors. They've already scored through Taupiki. Here he is, the fullback, passing this time for Ali Leataua. He stays on his feet for a long time. It was Joseph Taipari around the legs, responsible for stopping him. Now Isaiah Vangana, famous name, the son of Joe Vangana. A great career, Big Joe. Long here, there are numbers out towards the edge, set to 2. Tried to steamroll his opposite, Alan Fitzgibbon, up to the challenge. A great one-on-one stop. Voltman, across the face of goals goes the kick. In the air, the Roosters come down with it, and then a dragged back in goal. So the Warriors forced the dropout.
Yeah, great result by the Warriors. Gee, I'll tell you, it was a great tackle here on the wing, but the cross kick has been fantastic. It's the second time he's put pressure on the Roosters, and now, as I said, as soon as they tackle these players, they just drag them, which they do like a rag doll. So now it's an opportunity here for the Warriors to put massive pressure on. I'm looking forward to this hit up from the back, Matty. I've stirred these blokes up a bit to see how hard they can run, so look out.
The halfback, the kicker there, Ronald Voltman. 2 games for the Warriors at NRL level last year. Big loss to the Penrith Panthers in round 15, and then the Mount Smart homecoming. The win against West Tigers in round 16. We saw Voltman, having been given a taste of NRL, he no doubt wants much more of it. Last week he kicked 7 from 7.
No, he's very well skilled. His kicking game's immense, but just watching his passing game, he can get long and short. He's got the full package.
Bankstown Bulls Junior playing for the Warriors New South Wales Cup team today. Willem Ellis preparing to come on for the Roosters.
Well, he only got long or short. I'm not really a man of the short man. What's this?
You've said that. I'm going to challenge you on that as we go through the season. I'll give you some numbers. Here's the short goal line dropout. The Warriors were never really tested.
1-0.
Planted their feet and come up with the ball 15 metres out. Nico will check on the substitution as Tavanga goes forward. Just setting them up both sides of the field and finishing his run. Well, you can see how close he is. Lussick from dummy half. It's a crash play for Vangana. And he's pushed back. The Roosters on their goal line, defending grimly. Here's Voltman. Now Tuapiki. Out he goes for Leataua. The ball comes away for Okasatino. And the Warriors have their second. What an exciting edge that is. Voltman coming in. Leataua, Okasatino. And the Warriors have their second.
Yeah, we'll put that down to Volkman, as I said, to get a repeat set in these sort of conditions. But everyone knows their job. They drop off the inside, they take the defensive set away, but just great finish here too. Not many wingers can score tries like that, Matty. He just charged through. It's going to be a great tackle to put him down, but look at this. Takes 1, 2, 3 down. Score on the corner.
This angle will show it beautifully. Footwork to deceive, the flick offload. Ali Leataua. And in goes Sanele Okasatino. Making his New South Wales Cup debut today, Mark Carroll, Sanele.
Yeah, but like I said, Matty, they're nice and deep. The guy took the ball in, as in the defender, but the little flick pass, They practice as a training. The Warriors, as I said in the first grade and New South Wales Cup, I love watching these play because they play with a smile on their face, and on their day they can beat anyone.
Try one to Tuapiki, the second to Zanele or Casatino. 10-0 with a tricky kick here. And we'll keep our eye on a couple of Roosters who've been banged up in the first 17 minutes here.
See how I watched this kid kick practice, and he keeps them so low and just drives them so hard. So 6 from 6 last week. Let's see if he can keep it going.
Does his perfect record stay intact? It's coming back, but not by enough. So that tricky challenge just a bit too much, but 10-0. It's a handy break to the Warriors. Look at it again because this offload, beautiful to just get the Roosters interested.
It was a great finish, wasn't it? Like he shouldn't have scored that try. He should have been probably put over the sideline. There was enough defenders there by the Roosters, but determination got him across the line.
Wate Karawalevu nibbled on the pass and then was left stranded as the flick worked brilliantly. So Dylan Clifford just off under a regular interchange. That's a report from Nico Pajarilio sideline. Clifford good run off. Callum Ellis on. Look at the run meters. The Warriors nearly at 300. The Roosters barely past 100. And they're building this game nicely, the New Zealanders.
Yeah, they certainly are, mate, because the front rows are doing their job. Everyone knows their job here. They're just running the perfect lines. But I love watching the Lussick. It's crazy. It makes me feel old when I come watch games. I used to play with his father, Jason. And I remember when I had my gym, he sent 3 of the boys down. And he said to them, run me up, make sure you bash them, then just hangs up. So they all come in. They've had an upbringing, but I'll tell you what, they can all play.
Volkman goes high. Freddie and his brothers, and there's a take, a good one from Wate Karawalevu. Now he's manhandled by the Warriors, driven backwards and sideways awkwardly. They're in a mood to tackle, aren't they?
Good hit.
There it is again, but illegally, says Kieran Irons. There's some ferocity in this Warriors D.
Yeah, well, look at this. Tavaga comes flying out. Oh, geez, that was a good tackle. But they've overstepped the mark. Again, another piggyback. Like I said, in these conditions, you can't keep doing it.
Yeah, second effort over the top there. Or Casadino. But brilliant from Tavanga. Up quickly, down low. Chopping the bigger man down before Sanele or Casatino arrive with the illegality. Now here's a chance for the Roosters to get through a set, build some pressure.
They certainly do, mate. They'll either get to a kick return. They've got to be next to score.
So they're 30 metres out, the Warriors. Or the Roosters. It was Hodge with the carry down a short side here. And the ball to ground in front of Siwa Wong. And again, Mark Carroll, their coach, Anthony Barnes, must be increasingly frustrated.
Yeah, anyway. I had to chat to both coaches down there. They'd be dead set they would be frustrated, but you look at the way they defend the Warriors. They move up, then they slide. They work for their mate on the inside, and I'll tell you what, there's some collisions out there. Even out in the wing, they actually hit hard.
So here's the drinks break as scheduled, the closest stoppage around the 20-minute mark, and a couple of players will be examined here. We'll follow that. Nico Pajarilio all over its sideline. The New South Wales Cup so far in round 2, starting with the defending premiers. The Panthers too good for South Sydney, 30-20. In that game, Jack Cole with a couple of tries. So the Panthers 2-0, and then last night, Newtown, big winners against the Eels, 42-12. Sam Stonestreet with a hat-trick. Mawene Hiroti, 7 from 7. So his kicking effort matching what Ronald Volkman did last week for the Warriors. And of course, plenty of footy still to come. The Magpies and the Knights tomorrow, as are the Raiders against North Sydney. And again, the Dragons against Canterbury before the NRL game. So those venues, Leichhardt Raiders Belconnen and Netstrata Jubilee. Get out and support your New South Wales Cup team, especially when it's before an NRL game. We love these double headers, but
yeah, we certainly do. I love seeing the crowd. I mean, years ago, you get there for the under 23s, and then you have the reserve grade, and now you've got first grade. But they've got the New South Wales Cup. But looking at the scores so far, Matty, the Penrith Panthers last year, they dominated the New South Wales Cup, winning the grand final. But also Newtown, they are one hell of a side. They work hard. They were very well coached, and I love seeing them at the top of the tree.
Let's go back down to Nico Pajarilio. I'm keen to know what the conditions are. Clearly it's clear and bright. What about the temperature?
Well, as is characteristic of these early games at this time of year, gentlemen, it is sweltering down here at pitch level. Picture perfect day, as you mentioned, Matty, but 31 degrees, hardly a cloud in the sky. Tough conditions for rugby league. The players will be certainly tested this afternoon.
Mate, what did we say last week, that he goes out in the centre and he does like a humidity test and how much he can sweat? After seeing his suit, mate, you'd be sweating down there. I love it. We're freezing up here.
The ultimate professional. Suit, tie, shirt done up.
Looking good.
It's a warm day indeed in Sydney. Glorious conditions for a day at the beach. Tough if you're a front row forward at Allianz Stadium, Mark Carroll.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And also, I'm feeling, let's look at Vagana, Joe. I played against Big Joe, and now I'm seeing his young man. I'll tell you what, he's chip off the old block. He can certainly make some metres, but in defence, he does whack. Good ball.
That was him setting up this play. Tuapiki jumping around dangerously. We've already seen him accelerate dramatically to score the opening try of the game. Here's Jazz Tavanga. High work rate from Jazz, as is always the case. 8 seasons of NRL for Jazz. Volkman lobs the ball out towards Alan Fitzgibbon, famous rugby league name. Gael, if you're watching down in the Illawarra. And now a mistake. It comes from the Roosters straight into the clutches of the Warriors. 10 metres out. Well, this completion rate going to diabolical. 4 of 9 now for the Roosters. And as a result, the Warriors concede their 3rd try here. Lussick just sending play out to his right. Behind Vangana, it's Volkman drifting across the ground.
Ball.
A beautiful pass for Farr, and Farr wormed his way to the in goal.
Ball gets to the line.
He looked like he was destined to be dragged into touch, but somehow Ben Farr has shaken the tackle, and the best description, he's wormed his way to the line.
Wait, a great description. If we go back, that all came from a great tackle by Lussick. He got in between the ball, drove him in the fence. It was absolutely fair. Look at that. There's the tackle. Knocked the ball out. And then as the good sides put them away, they got nice and deep in attack. Everyone's running the right angle. And as you said, Farr to score on the corner. That was hard to score. Used a bit of evasion. And just kept striving for the line. So great try by the Warriors.
Well, Ethan Clark-Wood was the man who dropped the ball. Then he desperately tried to make up for his error by dragging Farr towards the sideline. Farr just slipped clear and did enough. The ball did come free, but only after he grounded it on the goal line in the eyes of Kieran Irons, who was right there, assisted by his touchy.
Yeah, we are up so high up this Allianz Stadium. This is a great stadium. But look at the camera work here from our Fox guys here. Can they get any closer?
And that is going to be not a new rule, a new interpretation, in that unless there's separation between hand and arm or torso, in the grounding motion, if you are moving it towards the goal line and it's not separated from your hand or arm, you don't necessarily have to be gripping it for the try to be awarded. And from the sideline, look at that. Straight as an arrow, Volkman back to his brilliant best off the kicking tee. It's 16-0.
Yeah, 16-0, but look, just look at these stats, Matty. 4 from 9 for the Roosters, 11 from 12 for the Warriors. So, as I said, the possession is massive in these days, but also the one that gets me is the 424 run metres against 155. Look at the score, 16-0, because they're running harder, in between gaps, and running faster. But the biggest thing also for me, mate, the Warriors haven't missed the tackle. The Roosters, 9.
So the resumption. The Roosters down 16-0, and they'll like seeing that. A mistake from the kickoff by Vangana, just a little enthusiastic, he leaves his lollies behind. And the Roosters will find probably their best position of the game.
Isn't that the way I've given... What's the course?
The mock.
No, the curse. The curse, I gave him a bit of a rap and then he drops the next pill, so he had a bit of a peeky-boo.
Commentator's curse.
That's what it is.
I welcome you to the club proudly, Mark Carroll. I'm surprised it's taking you this long to get there.
Yeah. We've still got a couple more in there, I reckon.
This will be the Roosters' first tackle in the opposition 20. If indeed they are stopped, which they are, despite the dancing feet of Ethan King. So there is now their first tackle inside the enemy 20.
Good hit.
Hodge had the upper body rock backwards, didn't he? Oh. It was Vangana there trying to make up for his error. And Squaw on the right-hand side. It's Clark Wood still going towards the in-goal. Ethan Clark Wood stubbornly not going to ground at the Warriors' first attempt. Sandon Smith goes on to Hodge. Certainly putting his hand up for work, Luke Hodge. They come back the same way. Alan Fitzgibbon had to jump and he's knocked the ball on. Forward pass, in fact, the ruling. Forward pass out to Alan Fitzgibbon on a wing. Watch it again here. Getting up quickly. It was the Warriors forcing an error. The forward pass spotted straight away.
Yeah, as you can see, the Warriors, it's great now they're the feeder club to the Warriors, which what happens there, whatever happens in first grade, they teach them down in New South Wales Cup. And what I'm loving at the moment is the defence. They're going up and then they're sliding, but they're working for their mate. And that's got to be down to the Australian coach now over the Warriors. His ability to, get it. So that's why they've gone with him, because he's so good at putting a unit together.
Yeah, Andrew Webster serving a long apprenticeship, having assisted at the Warriors, at West Tigers, where he had an interim role for a couple of games, and Penrith, of course, during their premiership success over the last couple of years. So can Andrew Webster later today become the first Warriors coach to win his first 2 games in charge?
No, you're the best at stats. I knew I'd get something out of you, Matty.
There have been 14 men go before Andrew Webster, and today he can do what no other Warriors coach has done.
Yeah, well, that's my upset. I've got that in my tips, because I definitely need him to win, because I'm struggling.
Well, Lussick here on the end of some enterprising attack. It's been a good set, and now Tuapiki spots the chance to run. He's pulled down 20 metres out. Well, the Roosters didn't spend long in the opposition 20. Now the Warriors are in theirs. Tuapiki leaves it behind.
The Roosters player. It was
probably not
last
the bad position to be in, Matty. He could have gone for a little bit of a kick and then would have been a 7-tackle set. But now the Warriors, they can just compress their line. They're not going to go around them here.
My apologies to Tony. It was actually Ronald Volkman just looking to push the pass, and he loses it into the opposition.
3 down there. It's not acceptable.
That's the 4th time they've let him have a piggyback. 4th.
It's been the only area where the Warriors haven't dominated the penalties. Everything else heavily in their favour. Possession nearly 70%. They're completing at 80%. And just to really ram that point home, as we speak, the Warriors have completed 11 sets. The Roosters only 4. Now here's a chance. As Josh Bevan tries to shrug his way clear of the defence. In the end, 3 of them make sure that doesn't happen. And here's Hugh Worthington, jumper 15 for the Roosters.
Go.
Thomas Hugh Worthington. He goes by Hugh. Oh, racing up quickly. And the Roosters had nowhere to go.
Go. 3.
Bevan again through the middle of the ground.
Hold. Go. 4.
Here's Smith, Sandon Smith. Oh. So the Roosters with a Sandon Smith and a Brandon Smith in the club this season.
Go. Nothing late.
Joseph Taipari kicks high across the ground, up in the air. It's off the Roosters, dived on now by the Warriors, and they'll come away with it.
Another great defensive set. Jeez, some whacks at him.
And it's Bevan.
Oh, it's incredible. I just there was one number 11 for the Warriors. He just smashed the Roosters. His name is Going. He's going strong. Oh, geez, here we go again.
Well, that was Alan Fitzgibbon racing up on
Sandon.
Ben Farr applying the pressure and getting a result. They need a bit more of this, the Roosters.
Yeah, but they need their front rows on that. Not a winger, Matty.
Good point.
Usually
They'll take whoever
wingers,
does it.
Yeah, but usually when wingers run out like that, they miss. So maybe he should go on the front row because that was a bloody good hit.
Well, Ben Farr comes away and goes back out to a wing with that. Looks like a wrist or lower arm problem. We'll keep an eye on Ben. So again, the Roosters find themselves in the opposition 20. Smith runs towards Fitzgibbon. In fact, it's Ethan King, the fullback. Now Smith on for Worthington.
15 out, Jazz! Here. 6 more, Jazz!
16-0 to the Warriors. Do the Roosters open their account here?
This will test them 6 again.
They handled Siwa Wong, the Warriors. Now Sandon Smith, Taipari, King. They keep it going and it opens up. The Roosters go in for their first try of the afternoon. And it's the Fijian, Watu Karawalevu, over for the Tricolours.
Yeah, nice try by the Roosters. As I said, Matty, they had to be the next to score. We've got 10 minutes to go in the game, but again from a mistake from the deep end for the Warriors. A drop ball, but some great defence, but nice play here. Everyone doing their right angle, the inside defender taking the other place out, the other guy out, but just a great try on the corner. And what I love about that, he come around, so he's going to help the kicker turn this to 6 points.
And Jordan Swant, the centre, playing the pass perfectly for Wate Karawalevu, the Fijian World Cup representative. He's wearing jumper number 12, but playing on a wing. And, you know, a bit of attack in the enemy territory, in the enemy 20, and they get a result for it.
Yeah, multiple times I keep hearing your call, Matty, the amount of guys who played in the World Cup. What a great experience that was for these young men to go and represent their nation and their country. And I'll tell you, it was one of the best just to see the smiles and some of the, I just love some of the openings, you know, when they do the war dance. It's one of my favourite.
Wate Karawalevu, Fiji, as did Siwa Wong, Luke Hodge, Italy, Eliel Zakam, Lebanon. That's just the Roosters. And
wow.
The kick waved away. So 16-4 as we go sideline. Nico Paharilio.
Remember the name Vuate Karawalevu. There was that fantastic article in the Daily Telegraph telling his story. He's a product of the Kaiviti Silktails program in alliance with the Roosters. The Tricolours spotted him, immediately brought him into their system where he had an immediate impact. 9 tries in 4 games in his opening Ron Massey Cup campaign. He's playing well in the New South Wales Cup now.
Geez, they're great stats, aren't they? 9 tries in 4 games.
Next up, these men against the Roosters at NRL level. Wade Egan playing really tough last week, a sternum knock, but he scored a try and was part of that win against the Knights. And the Roosters, well, how do they respond after being, for want of a better word, embarrassed by the defensive willingness of the Dolphins? They've had a week to stew on that spot.
Yeah, but I think we've got to give Dolphins credit.
Absolutely.
You have a look at that pack. You know, everyone's sort of going, oh, they're going to get the wooden spoon. They've got the main ingredients there. They've got Melbourne Storm, just a sprinkle of dusting, and then you got the super coach. But the Roosters, in these conditions, have to wind up.
Next up, Roosters Warriors in the NRL. The Roosters winning 5 straight against the Warriors. Do they make it 6? Or do the New Zealanders start 2-0? That's next. After this knock-on effect, New South Wales Cup game. What about that shot? Just in from the blind side. Pat Vaivai.
Welcome back, Patty.
Name. Pat Vaivai. More about him in a moment.
Great story, isn't it? Great story about Pat. Now, he's 31 years of age. I went and had a bit of a chat and I said, how old are you, mate? He goes, 31. The other bloke, he was 22. And he's come down, he's been over in Toulouse. He speaks fluent French, but I tell you what, he's keen to, oh, look at this, number 2.
He's ripping in.
Now, what I said, mate, there's an opportunity in first grade. You've come here to play first grade again, not to play reserve slash New South Wales Cup, so what a start.
So the completion comes, the kick down the ground via the boot of Smith, taken by Taine Tuapiki. Taine is wrapped up 20 metres out from his line. You're right to draw a comparison with Reece Walsh, just the way he carries himself with ball in hand, as if the feet are going to go at any second.
The way these fullbacks play now, they go across the line and then they skip and then they just go bang. So if you're lazy in the inside defence, it's bye-bye.
Here's Vai lining up for a run. Instead, the ball goes the other side of dummy half by Lussick.
Hold, go, 4.
Now he hears the call, and Vai forward, bustling. Plenty of metres after contact. Yeah, spent time in the Melbourne and Warriors systems, Paddy Vai. NRL at Newcastle and Gold Coast, most recently 2017. Then over to Europe, the kick. Down at the back, it's taken, and taken well by Ethan King, 20-year-old fullback. He's done some nice things today, playing his 13th New South Wales Cup game.
Yeah, it's amazing, mate. Like I said, it's part of my thing. I love going down and seeing the up-and-coming front rowers, and sometimes you look at them in the eye and you see blankness, whereas you look at someone like Pat, he looked me in the eye, I could see the desire to impress, and I said, mate, we need impact off the bench, come out and explode, and what he's done in the first 5 minutes has been outstanding.
Clark Wood with a nice angle in his run, backed up by Hugh Worthington. You know, a 12-point difference right now as we head towards half-time isn't that bad for the Roosters, given some of their statistical problems in the first half, Spud. Do you agree?
I think the coach should be counting down 7 minutes to go. If they go back in at 16-4, which I think is only, like I said, 12 points, I reckon they've done it right. The conditions are getting hotter and hotter. I feel sorry for these Warriors because I guarantee in New Zealand, the temperature wouldn't be like this.
So Nelio Casadino has it as we go sideline for an injury report. Nico Pajarillo.
Gentlemen, set 2-2 has failed his HIA and won't be back today.
Okay, the Warriors winger out of the game. Thank you, Nico. Strong run, Viliami Vailea. 12 NRL games for Viliami so far in his 3rd year of NRL, in fact.
Good vision.
Yeah, Lussick kicking out dummy half. And the bounce is a little awkward for King. And he's wrapped up just beyond his 10.
Guess who tackled him? It was Lussick. I love those guys who can kick and then chase. He was first down there after kicking the ball.
This has been a feature of the Warriors' first half. Have some urgency with the Roosters coming out of their red zone. So they shift it now out towards Siwa Wong. Tried to get the upper body free, but the defence had none of that. Still 20 shy of halfway. This is the 4th play, and now it's put down. The pass from Sandon Smith meant for Worthington. And it hits the grass, and another incompletion. And I'm sure Anthony Barnes at halftime is going to do something to simplify it and hopefully get them to the end of their sets.
Yeah, well, these guys, coaches, I should go and have a see how much hair he's got, because most coaches pull their hair out after seeing
full
something
head.
like that. He's got full head.
Full head.
I guarantee you.
Anthony Barnes, he's a male model. And he's been a long-term coach, and he's handled it very well.
Oh, mate, if they keep going like this, matey, at the end of the year, he's going to wake up with the patches on his pillow.
What's my excuse? I don't coach. Here's a chance for the Warriors out on the right-hand edge. It was, again, Tuapiki jumping around before going to Ali Leitao. Michael Siot, the captain, with an offload for Lussick. Tuapiki. And here's Vai. Look at the 3 defenders having to work on him, and they can't force him to ground.
Oh, go big man.
Patharika Vai. Now Volkman, 5 metres out, stepping and handled by Sandon Smith.
Hey, held. Releasing now. Where you are. Must hold. Go, 3.
Lussick goes it alone, diving through a hole and diving in against his former club. You like that, Freddie Lussick? He scores another try for the Warriors and blows that lead back out beyond 2 converted tries.
Yeah, that all goes back to the set, Matty. Just some offloads. Offloads are killing the Roosters. The offloads are 9-2. So offloads sort of create magic in the middle of this. That's a signature move by any Lussick. He's got a brother who plays for St Helens. He does the same thing. Show and go in between the gap. He's having a bloody good game. I tell you what, he's knocking on the door for first grade. And I tell you what, if I was a coach, that being
Andrew Webster.
Sorry, mate, Aaron, I got a bit of a tongue twister there. Andrew Webster, he'd be sitting up in the sheds with a smile on his doll knowing these guys are knocking on the door for first grade. What a unit.
Well, Freddie Lussick scored last week in the New South Wales Cup in that win against Newcastle, so he goes back-to-back as a try scorer, and 11 runs last week for Freddie Lussick. You know, some dummy halves these days go a game without running the ball.
Yeah, but his passing game,
Really
they're good
distributing.
they're good hookers. They can throw 10-metre passes now, Matty, but also, as you say, if your front rows are doing the work, you do a show and go and take off.
And he did for another try. 22-year-old Freddie Lussick, the former Beacon Hill Bear. And Ron Volkman, just the one miss today, shooting for goal after the perfect 7 from 7 last week. 2 more to the tally, 22-4, as the minutes tick down towards half-time.
Well, I was going to say, it's in the danger 5 minutes, and both coaches, you always worry about what's going to happen, but, you know, the Warriors, they played the 80th minute, or the 40th minute, being that in the first half, but going to the score at 22-4, highly deserved, Matty, I reckon. If it went back at 16-4, I think the Roosters would be thinking, oh, my God, that was lucky.
Stay behind.
Yep, as we touched on, the Roosters back in the New South Wales Cup for the first time since 2005. The Warriors returning this season for the first time since 2020. COVID played a role in that, obviously, but they have aims of having, you know, 5 teams as they get a penalty here. Already in the NRL as Andrew Webster and Mitch Barnett soak up the warmth sideline. They want to have first grade New South Wales Cup, flag, SG ball down to under-19s and a women's team. That's the 5 they're aiming for. What a pathway.
Unbelievable. They're a chance here to put some massive pressure. That was a really good kick, but it starts from the run from number 16, Bagley. That was a great run. He got the 20 metres line. You'll see what the Warriors can do.
They're not done yet. Plenty of time here for another try to the Warriors. As the coach goes to his bench late in this first half. As we've touched on already, taxing conditions. Volkman in nicely. It's going. Just 5 metres out, Kalani going. To Opiki. Called by Vaivoi, catch and pass. And Seal was wrapped up quickly. Lussick for Volkman, and the defence, it was Taipari up quick enough just to put some doubt in the mind of Volkman. He held the pass and took the tackle. To Opiki again. Here's Ali Leataua getting the ball away, or Casatino jumping around. No way through, and they'll change it over. Well, there's some credit to the Roosters' defence.
Yeah, it certainly was, but also I think it was a bit of a mistake by the Warriors. There was an opportunity to get there a repeat set of 6, Matty. We hit the 1 minute. There's 6 tackles in 1 minute here. So there was a lost opportunity by the Warriors, but really good defence by the Roosters.
A clatter of bodies coming through the microphones. What about that for an offload? Bit of second phase here for the Roosters. Shut down now. Just shy of the 30-metre line. It was Sandon Smith smothered. Now Siwa Wong hasn't been given a lot of opportunity. He's received the ball with defence right on top of him. Now a grubber. Bit of enterprise there. And it's cleaned up by Tuapiki very well. The ball was bouncing awkwardly around his ankles. The Roosters were there sweating on a mistake. And all's well that ends well for the Warriors, and the first half has gone well. 60% of the ball, they've completed at 80%, and they've scored fairly freely as well. At the break, it's the Warriors 22, leading the Roosters 4. The Warriors back out onto Allianz Stadium, leading 22-4 at half-time, 4 tries to 1 in the opening 40. Mark Carroll, do you think the Warriors go on with the job here, or can a Roosters team improve on their completions and fight back into the contest?
Yeah, talk about completions, 11 from 18. The Roosters in these conditions, 16 from 20 for the Warriors. It sort of fell off at the back end there, Matty, but they've got to score first. The Roosters get some confidence in themselves, but I just look at the run meters, 712 against 348. Man, that's fantastic for a first half of footy, and I reckon they can duplicate that this afternoon.
The Roosters have their own New South Wales Cup team, but contractually they're still obligated to supply Norths with some players in 2023, and as a result, the club is diluted across 2 outfits in this tier. So expectations are measured, but the Roosters out there's plenty of personal pride on the line. You can still impress the coach at NRL level, and they have the chance to do that over this 40 minutes. We're underway again, the second 40 in this knock-on effect New South Wales Cup game, and that's a good charge to bring us back from the break.
Great defence.
It's well picked up on, Spud. There was 3 or 4 defenders waiting there for Tahi Bagley. And drove him back significantly.
They've come out with a bit of attitude, and no doubt the coach would have got right up, and he had to. They were a bit soft through the middle, but we've seen now 3 tackles, 4 tackles, 4 guys per tackle. So very good for the Roosters, but they've got to keep it up.
It's a good defensive set by the Roosters, isn't it? They're just beyond their 25 or 20 metre line. The Warriors, Lussick told to play on. And here's Bagley again for the Warriors, his second carry of the set. But it's been a tough set, not a lot to go forward. They've come just over 30 metres. And the kick, it's a decent one towards the southern end of Allianz Stadium, taken by Ethan King. And they say a set is only as good as a kick on the end of it, and that kick helped make that one a fairly sound set in the end.
Yeah, it certainly was a tough set, as you said, Matty, but it was a great kick, got it down to at least the 10-metre line for the Roosters there. But think about these Warriors. I remember as a kid, they just bash you through the middle. They're taught this as a kid, and look at the size of these guys. They'd be hurting that they got hit in that last set of 6, so look out for the next one.
So runs from the 2 wingers, Carol Levu and Fitzgibbon, backed up here as they come through the middle. And it's Hugh Worthington. Now we get to see Siwa Wong wind up. 6 runs in the first half, 45 metres. So the defence was sweating on Siwa. And here's a nice probe. Put down by Josh Bevan. Tyler Moriarty was the man feeding his lock forward. Ball hits the ground, and the Roosters start the second half like they played much of the first.
Yeah, there was a pass there that didn't need to be passed. You know, someone just got to go to the ground, quick play the ball, but you know, they've done the try the magic ball around the corner, and the Warriors now coming out of their own line.
Good contact again on Leitao.
Hold. Go. 3.
So the defence has improved. They've gone up a gear with some contact and putting their shoulders into their work.
Go. 4. Inside 40.
Inside 40.
Yeah, it was Lussick looking for the sideline. Didn't quite have the width, had the right depth, but Ethan King gets there in time. Now he's pulled backwards. Leitao assisted in that defensive effort. Maya Sands out there for the Warriors. A jumper 15 involved defensively.
Go. 2.
Roosters looking for a quick play of the ball.
Here, hold.
Pat Vai having a leg. Lucky to get away with that, and again it's put down. So the Roosters start the second half with 2 incompletions.
Yeah, horrible. Have a look at the this run here by the Roosters player. He has what they call a little peekaboo. I think he was more worried about getting hit before he caught the ball. He had a look at these big forwards, and unfortunately the young man drops the ball, but he's put the Roosters in horrible position on the 50-metre line, right in the middle for the attack of the Warriors.
First half, the Roosters 11 of 18, so 60%, as you touched on. And then there are 2 completions or 2 incompletions early in the second half. You've got to get to your kick and put pressure on the Warriors.
Yeah, the best meter readers for the both sides. Mayu got 9 carries, 76 for the Warriors. And Hodge, he had a bit of a crack, 5 for 36, but not enough helpers.
Good summary. Mark Carroll, a proud member, a leader of the Front Rowers Union. Always a keen eye and a kind word for the men who play in the middle. And that's where the Warriors are examining the Roosters as we speak. 20 metres out, Lussick into dummy half.
Go. 3.
Goes to Voltman, back for Maya Sands, who straightens and takes the tackle 12 metres out.
Go. 4.
Voltman again, the conductor.
Great
Goes to Roach. His pass was taken. They roll over and find the in-goal area. It's Michael Seo, the captain, delivering for the Warriors.
Yeah, as I said, man, we keep saying we see a mistake, and guess what? The next set of 6, try time for the Warriors, but they just do their job. They go through the middle, but I'll tell you, they've got some silky hands out the back. Great work from Lasix. But there's a little ball here. Beautiful short ball. Number 12 to score. CO. You can certainly find line, but it just comes down to mistakes. You know, defensively, that first set of 6 was great, but that's for one set of 6. I haven't seen that again. A drop ball. And as I said, the good sides put people away, and that being the Warriors. They can certainly score some points. Last week, they scored 40-20, and I guarantee you they're going to be hitting probably close to 40 again today.
That man, Michael Seo, was the Warriors under-20s Player of the Year in 2013, so a decade ago. Plus, he won the Sonny Fire medal. Has since taken his services to Mackay, to Wakefield, Dewsbury, Halifax in the UK. 5 years playing with North in the Q Cup, Spud, where he won back-to-back premierships, 21 and 22, and now finds his way back to the Warriors, where it started more than a decade ago.
Yeah, certainly fantastic stats there, Matty. I said you're the David Middleton of Fox, but I just love working with you on the weekends because I always learn something.
There you go, Michael Seo's journey. Volkman adds the extras again. The 29-year-old scores the try. The 20-year-old adds the conversion, and we'll go to a youthful Nico Parrillia.
Don't know about youthful, Matty, but the message from Roosters coach Tony Barnes was understandably all about ball control at halftime. He wants his team to get around the ball and push hard in attack. As for Warriors coach Slade Griffin, he urged his team to get back to the game plan, tighten up in defence as well. He also reminded his players to show some respect to the game and remember what they've sacrificed to have an opportunity at this level.
Oh, great stats, Nico. In the sweat meter, what's he out of 10? High 8s?
Well, I've just got a bit of shadow relief, so I think it's coming down a little bit, Scott.
Good run by the big Paddy. Look at this guy run.
The Shadows just now going over the benches, so a bit of relief for the men who are sitting sideline, but very warm conditions on the field. And they will persist for the NRL game to follow this one. Roosters, Warriors. The Warriors winners in round 1 against the Knights. And of course, the Tricolours beaten by the Dolphins in that memorable Suncorp extravaganza in round 1. How do they respond? Well, the answer is coming up on Fox League. Lara Pitt, Steve Roach, Greg Alexander standing by to preview all the action as we start the NRL phase of another Super Saturday. But a penalty here to the Roosters, to the Warriors, my correction.
Yeah, it's the 8th penalty we've seen today in these hot conditions. And just, play the ball, infringements, staying on too long.
No, it was inside 40.
Now the Warriors' completion rate up at 85%, backing up what they did last weekend. Got through 26 of their 31 sets. The problem for the Warriors last week was conceding 8 penalties to 3.
Loving the way they're playing. Big Pat off the bench. His impact's been fantastic, but he's been getting some great ball from Volcom. They're got him on the edge.
Not going to get it.
You know that commentator's curse you were asking about?
It's happened again.
You've been struck down twice.
Paddy, hold the ball.
Middle.
So we'll go to the middle of the field, have a scrum, and the Roosters will come away with the ball. Pat Vaivai, you've joined us late. It's the same Paddy Vaivai who played with Newcastle and Gold Coast at NRL level before going to Lee and Toulouse and then French rugby.
All right, let's go hedging here, guys.
Were you ever sought out by French rugby, Spud Carroll?
No, not the way I played, mate. No way in the world, because actually the only reason why they probably get you because it was, you can actually tackle. But I made a bit of a chat to Big Pat downstairs and gave me a couple of sentences in fluent French, and I had no idea what he was saying. He was very...
Why did he start speaking French to you?
No, I just said a couple of times, oui, that's all I know.
He said the toilet's that way. The Roosters, 10 shy of halfway. Here's Siwa Wong again. 4 Warriors quickly around him, 3 needed to affect the tackle. And King, good hit, shut down on the spot.
Keep going there.
It was Tahi Bagley making the tackle for the Warriors, and ultimately this defence is asking some questions, putting pressure on the Roosters. There's a set restart there.
Oh. It was that Volcom.
Michael, up now.
Big man versus little man. He whacked it, man.
6 more, slow.
So another set restart here for the Roosters. Papari goes on. And the defence was waiting for Riley Main. Hugh Worthington, only 8 metres out. Just the one try for them so far today, scored by Karawalevu. Now the grubber, it's into the in goal, getting through quickly. Eliel Zakim was applying pressure, but we'll come back to the 20, and no, we won't.
Yep. It's the penalty.
Yep.
Well, I thought we were coming back to the 24.
Yes, number 4 Roosters.
A 7 tackle set. We're coming back there for a penalty instead. There's a bit going on at the moment.
Yep.
Head injury assessment required. Vai on his haunches sideline.
What's this hit? Oh.
Big contact made on Callum Ellis, and that's why he's now coming from the ground under head injury protocols. He'll have an assessment. Callum Ellis throwing himself at the defence and wearing one as a result.
Yeah, it's like a car crash, those sort of tackles. You can see his head, how he goes back. So the young man's okay, but it was illegal. It was a very hard tackle, and that's what you get from the Warriors. I remember going over there, Matty, when I was playing for Manly, and I think we only won like 12-11, but I'll tell you, I had bruises for about a week.
Out now, Luke.
You knew you'd played against the Warriors.
We're tackling concrete.
Bagley again for them. His 5th New South Wales Cup game.
Wait for it. Go. 2.
That's a strong run. Zion Maiu'u.
Yeah, hold. Go. 3.
Vlasic sends it towards Maya Sands from the Kia Ora Warriors.
Go. 4.
Volkman at the 20, out the back. Little juggle, and they keep it alive.
Last one. All the way back here, back. Go.
Paul Roach did well to make sure there was no drop. Volkman in the air, across the face of goal, and it's marked in goal.
Middle.
By Alan Fitzgibbon, who taps and goes and takes good metres. That's fantastic wing play, Alan Fitzgibbon.
Yeah, certainly was great wing play. Caught the ball fantastically and then sprinted to the 20 and then made another 15 metres. So great work by the Roosters winger.
Backed up by Ethan Clark-Wood. So trying to ram home the advantage here. They get to the 30-metre line.
Hold. Go. 2.
They've conceded 5 tries and scored 1. Luke Hodge.
Freddie, no more. Hold. Go. 3.
Here's Sandon Smith.
Freddie up now.
And his ankle grabbed by Bagley. Now a kick from Hodge, who chases hard. Luke Hodge showing a bit of skill there, the starting front rower, with a grubber into the in goal, and he forces the dropout.
How good's that to see a bit of skill from a front rower? Oh, that is magnificent. Great little kick there. I thought when he kicked it, I thought it was off his knee. I thought it was going to go a 7-tackle set, but well done. As I said, the Roosters need to score next. I reckon the last 5 minutes, I reckon someone's put the foot down the accelerator because the game has been electric from end to end with now the Roosters on attack.
Well, they try the long goal line dropout, pleasing my co-caller, Mark Carroll. And
good hit.
Great contact. It came in from Ali Leatoa.
Just call him sir.
What a shot to jolt the ball free. I tell you who's sitting up applauding that. His uncle, Ali Lauitiiti, or Lauitiiti as he was called during his playing days. 7 years at the Warriors. Grand finalist in 02 when he won the Dalian Second Row of the Year award. And his nephew, Ali Leatoa, named after him and producing a shot that will please the entire family.
Yeah, it'll please any rugby league fan to see someone like that. The technique was perfect. It was a right shoulder hit. It was very much like Radley Victor Radley at the Roosters. You come under the ball and get a whack on it, and the pressure of it on the ball will always get a loose carry.
Ali Leotawa, what a shot.
Here, hold.
Having been forced into a goal line dropout, it took one tackle to swing the pendulum back the way of the Warriors. Fantastic defence. That's one of those shots that you wore back in your playing days.
Yeah, gave a few out, but geez, I copped a few too.
Now Sanele or Casatino. Steaming onto the ball, it's Mau'u.
There you run.
Wait for it. Go. 4.
A bit of Ma'u about him, from a Parramatta forward. Ma'u, in the way his name sounds, but also the way that he runs. Zion Ma'u. Now the kick at the end of the set, down towards Fitzgibbon again. It's perfectly weighted right on top of the goal line, but not on it or in the in-goal area. And as a result, the Roosters are coming off their own line again. Tough run made by Clark Wood.
Yeah, so these are the hardest runs in the game. The Warriors are, they can smell or taste the blood in the water
More
from the
treatment
Roosters.
for Ethan King, Spud. And now it comes for Wong. And he bulk up. I think he's lost the ball here. It bobbled out. And they get a penalty instead of an error against them.
After watching games like this, Matty, I'm glad I'm sort of retired, man. I'll tell you, because we got the effective mics down there from Fox, and it's just collision time out there. It's like a bash-up derby.
So they've ruled illegal steal, 2 in the tackle, and a reefing motion at the ball.
Let's go with me.
I need to take another look at it. There was perhaps a pull at the arm, constituting the playing at the ball.
Right, 14, no more.
So they cut a break after the
Go. 1.
what appeared to be originally just an error. Eagle-eyed referee Kieran Irons right on top of it.
Release the arm. Here. Hold. Go. 2.
Sandon Smith, they go through Taipari, quick hands tipped on beautifully. Now it opens up for the wing of Wate Karualevu, and he's claiming the try. Jordan Swan, beautiful hands as well. Wate Karualevu has the Rooster crowing again.
Fantastic attack play by the Roosters. Everyone running the right line, but look, love this kid at the end, how he finishes this try. He slides like a slippery slide. He dives about 5 meters out and slides over the ball. If he went high, he would have been taken out. Watch this. Power slide. Nice to slide into the corner, but good work for the Roosters. As we said, Matty, they had to be the next to score. Otherwise, this game is going to balloon out.
It's a hot day in Sydney, and this is just jumping on the slip and slide and letting the Soapsuds take over. He skidded into the in-goal. The defence was coming across, and it must be said, Wate Karualevu looked like he knew exactly what he was doing there, getting low, avoiding the touchline, and just letting physics take over the rest, sliding into the in-goal.
Yeah, but in your call, mate, you can tell by the way the back line hit at pace. They know that move. First place got to dive in, take the defender away, but it's just great hands, great little tip on, quick passing. And as good wingers do, they score and keep low to the body. And fantastic end.
So from the sideline, Sandon Smith gave it every chance, didn't have the movement through the air it needed, but look at the try here again. Catch and pass, I think it's Ethan King under pressure. The fullback joining the line, going to Swan and then Karualevu. It was a really slick backline play, Spud.
Yeah, it certainly was. As we say, the fullbacks in the game always, they put the extra man in, with the King coming in with a beautiful little tip on, took the pressure off the outside backs, and the score in the corner. As we said, now it's 28-8, but again, they've got to score a few more tries to catch up to this Warriors. But the Heat's certainly getting these guys. I think they've got a minute and a half before they can have a little drink break, maybe get a little bit of a Staminate or Gatorade. But also, remember the old, are they going to bring the oranges out? The little orange and make little mouth guards?
I think they do that in the sheds these days. But, oh, there's the Roosters dealt more punishment. They've just stood their ground all afternoon, the Warriors. And right there, Isaiah Vangana, Michael Seo said, you run at us at your own peril. But just before we get too far away from that Currow 11 try, yeah, the touch of class from Ethan King. He was under real pressure. The defence was on top of him. Court pass to the mark to set up the try. Well done. Number 1 at the Roosters. Smith long to Fitzgibbon. He's played for Penrith, West Magpies. Now he's a Rooster. Alan Fitzgibbon.
Nothing late.
Smith high, really high above Allianz Stadium, bringing Tuapiki forward. He loses it offside, I would have thought would be the penalty.
Because you touch it, so it's a knock on.
Okay, knock on, there's the explanation. Kieran Irons.
To the middle.
Forward off Tuapiki into the Roosters and then down to another Warrior as we go sideline to Nico Pajarillo. It's time for a drink. You can get one after you update us on the latest happening sideline.
I certainly will, but Callum Ellis for the Roosters, he had that HIA. He has not passed and won't play the remainder of this match.
Okay, so Setu 2 ruled out HIA in the first half for the Warriors. Now Callum Ellis for the Roosters. Remembering in 2023, 2 failed HIAs. Allows you to activate the 18th player. Already seen that a few times in NRL games early in the season. And it's a warm afternoon in Sydney. A couple of weeks into autumn, Spud, but still feels very much like summer.
Oh, it certainly does. As a forward, you don't look forward to games like this in this sort of temperatures, but hey, they get paid the big bucks, Matty. But you think about last week, I think it was 15 HIAs. I'd like to see how many there's going to be this week. It's just these players, you know, they get looked after. So when it's time to come off, make sure you come off.
Well, we step up to NRL next, and the big forwards will know they're playing out here this afternoon. Lindsay Collins, Brandon Smith, Fletcher Baker, the front rowers for the Roosters. Egan Butcher, Nat Butcher, Victor Radley ruled out, so Norfahu White called on by Trent Robinson. The Warriors, Adam Fanua-Blake, Wade Egan, Mitch Barnett, Jackson Ford, Marata Niakulre. And on we go. Here's the Roosters. King goes straight through. Ethan King, fresh from the drinks break. He's refueled and he's firing. He sets up 1 try for the Roosters. Now he scores one of his own. Ethan King, take a bow.
What do you reckon was in that drink? Maybe he should share it to his teammates, but as we say, you can't make mistakes. Great high ball, drop pass, but they practice this to train outside back. The inside defender taking his man, but a great little, just speed gets him that try.
Ali Leitao failing to make the tackle for the Warriors. Ethan King capitalises. He was the only Rooster to run more than 100 metres last week, the fullback, 117 of them. And I think he's been one of their best today, Spud. Yeah,
he certainly has. He's a great little backup for Tedesco, isn't he? He's a pinnacle of our game. But what that young man did, and for any young kid watching this, he got the palm in the guy's face and body. But defensively, he should have went low on the defence. He went too high, and he deserved that big palm in the head.
Just 20 years of age, Ethan King. They're well stocked for fullbacks. James Tedesco, Joseph Okusuzwali'i, and now Sandon Smith from the sideline measures it up well this time, Nico.
Absolutely, and terrific speed there from Ethan King. Originally from Cairns, he came through at Ipswich Grammar up there, starring in rugby union and also track and field. As you mentioned, Matty, a fantastic rugby league heritage earlier. Our father, Andrew, of course, played for the Chargers back in the 90s, and his uncle, Matt, an Origin winner with New South Wales and Tri-Nations winner as well. Don't forget as well, coming up, the Warriors and the Sydney Roosters at NRL level, all live and ad break free in 4K right here on Fox League.
Joseph Swali'i just getting ready there. This is inside the Warriors dressing room. Sean Johnson, he's fueling up and he's got the right moves in the dressing room. Will he have the right moves on field? Time will tell. That's a bad move out on the full by the Warriors, who need to be a little careful here. 28-14. Still a long way to go in this one. 18 minutes or thereabouts. And another couple of tries to the Roosters brings them, right back into the contest if they're not there already.
Yeah, it's a game of 2 halves, Solomon. Matty, it was all the Warriors the first half, but the Roosters have certainly put some pressure on them. Kick out the full. It's not the ideal start or set of 6, but Just see if the Roosters can capitalise on what's happened before.
We know completions aren't everything, but they're something. When they go from diabolical in the first half to 9 of 11 in the second half, 55% of the ball, 65% of the territory as a result of all that. And here they are in good position again. Wong. Siwa Wong tackled 10 metres out. Now, Taipari, a couple of big left foot steps there. And he's back to Eliel Zakum.
Releasing, muscle, go.
Just 5 metres away. It goes through Bevan, and now it's put down, middle of the ground. Sandon Smith, frustrated at himself.
Sorry for the noises. I just feel like I'm a coach then, seeing outside back dropping the ball. They were in a perfect position, the Roosters, to put some massive pressure on the Warriors. I just feel if they scored then it would have been game on. So, as I said, game of two halves, but the Warriors, they just need to regroup, get back to their basics, hit some front liners, and then the tries will come.
I'd like to see the edge forwards really charging onto the ball, because Eliel Zakum has looked good at times. Siwa Wong, the teenage talent, is there and very much a presence. Eliel Zakum, in fact, their most experienced New South Wales Cup player, jumper 11. They turn to defence here as Zanele Okusatino charges hard at them.
I tell you what, you've been working on your pronunciations here, Matty. To our viewers out there, I wish I could show you a video. Matty, he does some amazing work. He's just king of stats, but he's got these manila folders. Remember the old manila folders? And he's got some sort of scribble on there, but he reads it. I can't read it. It's like Braille for me.
Should have been a doctor. I lack one ingredient. Intelligence. 5 metres into Roosters territory. The Warriors just looking to settle this game down in complete control at half-time. But the last 2 tries have gone to the Roosters, just opening the door a little bit.
I didn't see it.
And it's a mistake. Ruled a poor carry by Zion Mau'u.
Commentators curse again. I just gave him a wrap. That was a great 15-metre charge by the big man, but hold the ball. A few of the guys I do some work with, Matty, in first grade regards to the middles. They call middles now front rowers. And I say about the ball, it's like gold. And if you got babies, you never drop your baby. So just think it's like a baby, never let go of the baby. So hold the ball.
So you want every front rower charging hard up the ground to think they're carrying a baby, not the Steeden.
Bloody oath.
That'll work, whatever works.
I tell them I want them to squeeze it that much, so one day it's going to burst.
And here's Siwa Wong through the middle.
10, quick now out. Here, hold.
I've been impressed with the way the Warriors have accommodated Siwa Wong as King goes through again. Now Grubbers looking for his 5'8", Joseph Taipari. Gets the bounce. He races away. 3 in a row to the Roosters.
Yeah, that's fine.
28-18. They'll shoot to make it 28-20. And this is a resurgence. They're back in this contest. Ethan King, front and centre of the comeback.
Yeah, what a great run through the middle. The Warriors both took each other out, but the vision, mate, the good fullbacks of the game have got bloody great vision, right? So he's done a nice little grubber kick, and we've got number 6 being great little, what about the break here? Between shoulders, that's what I tell young kids. Run between shoulders, and as you see on the 2 guys on the ground, they've crashed into each other.
So Ethan King, in this run of 3 tries, I've got him down for 2 try assists and scoring the other try. And that weight on the kick, perfect. The bounce, kind. Joseph Taipari, the 5'8", it's his first try of the season. He's also delivered an assist. So hold on. 28-18, needs to come back. Sandon Smith sends it across the face, so the difference is 10 points. 5 tries to 4, the last 3 tries scored by the Roosters.
As I said, through the gap, arm grabbing, but just really good vision, the perfect depth. And now we've got game time, Matty, 28-18 with 12 minutes 40 to go. The team that makes the less mistakes in this next 12 minutes will win the game.
The Roosters beaten last weekend 44-18 by West's Magpies. They conceded 8 tries, and they were in danger of doing something similar when they conceded 4 tries to 1 in the first half today. But the second half, Anthony Barnes got hold of his team at the break, and you spotted it. The first couple of defensive sets after half-time, the Roosters looked like a different team.
Yeah, well, that's what the Warriors are going to do this set of 6, Matty. They've actually got to come out and put their body on the line to rattle the cage of these Roosters, because they've got some wind in their sails.
Okay, so the Warriors kick off. They've run a fresh man onto the ground in jumper 17, Nicholas Halalilo. We'll go down to Nico shortly about that, because Nicholas Halalilo was the reserve. They've activated, I think, the reserve player confirmation from Nico shortly about that, but inside the Roosters dressing room, the Roosters, as Trent Robinson said this week, we don't need to jump at shadows, but we need to take a lesson out of round 1, make the adjustments, and hopefully play better today. We're not going to panic about another slow start to the season under Trent Robinson. He's lost 8 of his 11 first-round games, Trent. And more often than not, well more often than not, come back to make finals, only missing them once. So there's Tuapiki under the high ball. And they're tied, the Warriors, slow to get back on side. Bit of energy to the Roosters. Can they force another error?
I think the resurgence of the Roosters also comes down to young man number 7, Smith. I think he's been really good, Matty. He's probably had a bit of tutorage from no doubt Cooper. He's gone there. I think he's doing some work with the Roosters.
Hold. Go, 0.
So they drift across the ground. One try to set up a grandstand finish in this knock-on effect New South Wales Cup game. Whereas Eliel Zakam with an offload. He couldn't advance play on the second phase. Taipari. Here's Hodge.
Stand now with me.
Trying to lead his side through the middle. Luke Hodge. Taipari. Now Smith out through King, who loses it backwards. No, forwards. Knock on is the call here. Well,
Knock on.
King has the hot hand. Right there, the ball brushed the hand. The Roosters were claiming it, then went backwards. Kieran Irons said, nope, knock on. Ball to the Warriors.
Yeah, this Kieran's he's had a really good day. He's picked up everything, so we can't go knocking him. I think there might have been a little basic touch there, a couple of millimetres there. I think he's got to cut his nails. I know it looks like the ball's going back, but it actually come forward off the hand. But like the players, Matty, you know, you look at the referee, Kieran, he's here to impress as well. There's an opportunity to go up the first grade one day, and he hasn't missed the beat.
He's been controlling New South Wales Cup games very effectively for a few years now, Kieran.
Yeah, waiting. Go, 1.
Now, Sanele or Cassetino.
I like the players. I'll tell you what, they're fit. Like,
With me, hold.
how many times does he go up and back? Like, the quads be burning.
In these conditions, haven't spotted any signs of cramp yet, but the last 8.5 minutes might change that.
Ellie, no more. Roosters here. Hold. Hold.
And of course, very warm conditions for the NRL to follow this one. Yet to get confirmation whether we'll have drinks breaks around the 20-minute mark like we have in this game. So Halalilo just gives it on for Volkman to drive the ball towards the sideline and over it.
3-1, play ball.
Yeah, it's
Play the
going
ball
to
in
be
the middle.
interesting, as you said, Matty, with this heat. Both sides for the New South Wales Cup actually warmed up in the centre, but if you ever been downstairs and seen the amenities downstairs, you shouldn't go outside. They've got an indoor area where you can do some little sprints, some passing the ball. You might send the kickers out, but I wouldn't be sending the big boppers. Get him in the sheds, talk it up, and then come out.
Now Ethan Clark-Wood has pushed his luck. The pass has led to an error. Freddie Lussick being congratulated by his teammates for his defensive application. I suppose the Roosters have to chance their arm to an extent, but still 7.5 minutes left to go, Spud. Enough time to score the try in the next few minutes to set up this shot at victory late.
Yeah, there's at least 7 sets of 6 to go in this game. But again, last shorter man getting under the ball, great driving. He did one in the first half, and they scored a try. Let's see if they can recuperate this.
Can they put it to bed? Volkman jumping around for the Warriors and wrapped up 10 metres out. Lusick to dummy half.
Wait for it! Wait! Go.
Comes back towards Halalilo.
Give space here, Luke. Here. Hold!
The reserve player onto the field. Volkman flat and short. Michael Seo has one try already. Good tackle. The defence was waiting.
Ellie's on the ball after the held call.
There you go. A hand on the ball as Seo tried to get to his feet quickly to play it.
I think they're going to do well to keep him out here, Matty. They can taste, as I said, they can taste the blood in the water here against the Roosters. We've got 6.5 minutes to go. Another set of 6. Let's see how good they are.
Well, I'll take the shot at goal here, you'd imagine. Out by 10, just to make it 2 converted tries the difference, and more importantly, give the team a breather and take some time off the clock.
Yeah, smart play by the Warriors. It's, as you said, man, it's been, 28 degrees out there. It'll be pretty hot in the middle. And also, I reckon this ground, what it also does, these guys now wear rubber studs, but I went out there before we got up here calling the game. The grass is very, very thin and it's short. You can see by the patches on there, I think they've been playing quite a bit of soccer. And the way they run and run and run on there, they've worn this ground out, but hopefully it can recoup by the end of the season. But I'll tell you what, this thing gets punished.
Volkman, 4 from 5 today. Really effective last week as well. And the penalty won't decide the game. 2 converted tries the difference, but as we touched on, it takes them a big step towards victory. This to go 2 converted tries clear. And by the time we restart, the Roosters will have fewer than 5 minutes to score twice. Volkman delivers. Don't forget, NRL tonight, each weeknight, 6 o'clock on Fox Sports News and Fox League. Mark Carroll, you're along with Tim Manor every Tuesday, rattling the cage of some NRL forwards. There's been some good performances by big men already this round. I wonder what we might get on Super Saturday as the 3 games unfold.
Yeah, well, I think on Tuesday, NRL tonight, we just talk about all the forwards as in front rows. Okay, we're not going to talk about outside backs. And I can't wait, I'm on NRL 360, so it's time to get the good suit out.
The short kickoff works for the Roosters. Alan Fitzgibbon flying through, uncontested. He makes the catch. And now he drops the ball, but because of the involvement illegally by the Warriors, a quick tap and go, which they're allowed to do. Hodge has it. Well, a converted try here gives them time. The short kickoff, which Mark Spud Carroll loves, worked. And here comes Sandon Smith going to Elzakin to King. He leaves it behind. Idea was right. Execution not quite there. Here's Eliel Zakem looking for his fullback.
Oh, should have been taken, Matty.
It arrived at quad level, not quite in the breadbasket, but I'm sure many viewers will agree with you, Spud. Could have been taken, and who knows what happens then.
That was right in the breadbasket. What a great effort by the Roosters player to go through. And as he was hitting the ground, he's done the old flick pass up, but I think the young man who dropped the ball, I think he was looking forward about putting the ball down before he caught it.
Why do you save your best suit for NRL 360? What's wrong with wearing it each Tuesday on NRL?
No, I do, but I look at different games. You know, as a kid, you dream about playing first grade. And I just love first grade. You know why? Because I love taking Kenny on. What I'm going to try and do is hopefully make him smile.
So you're saying 360's first grade, NRL tonight reserve grade?
No, not reserve grade. Not reserve grade. It's probably a touch under. But I'm saying I've got to aim up for Kenny because he's at me all the time.
He'll be ready and waiting for you this week. Make no mistake.
I'm doing okay if I get a smile out of him.
Here come the Warriors, trying to get beyond their 30-metre line.
No more. Give space here.
Just under 3 minutes to play. 5 tries to 4 in favour of the visitors, trying to go 2-0 to start this New South Wales Cup season. They're back home for the next 2 games. The Warriors against Norths and Canterbury.
Yeah, Canterbury's going to be a tough side to play, but you know, talking about Kenny, he loves his boxing, and he'll be salivating what's going to happen tomorrow.
I think we all are. As the kick goes into the in goal and too far by a long way. Well played by Wate Karuelevu, just to let that ball go dead in goal.
I think it was, we've been going nearly 80 minutes. That's the first mistake they actually, the Warriors have done. Through the middle.
Karuelevu straight through. He has 2 tries already, and he's pulled down on halfway. Good footy all round from the Fijian. Now it's with Elzachem. Best idea is straight and hard, says Ellie. 32 metres out. Taipari. Now Smith. Here's King on to Clark Wood. Now Alan Fitzgibbon. The defence slides. Far is there. They jolt the ball free. Knock on Roosters, and that should be enough for the Warriors to hang on now.
Yeah, Coach Barnes for the Warriors. He'd be absolutely ecstatic with this. The defence has been going from go to way. We've gone 80 minutes. Look at this defensive line here. They just keep working for their mate. Then they come in, crunch time through the middle, another loose carry. The loose carries have killed the Roosters. The mistakes, you cannot make mistakes in this hot weather, but we've got to commend the Warriors. They've come out whacking blokes, and they're still doing it to the 80th minute. Very
quickly, Zoo, Harrison tomorrow. Mark Carroll, you do lots of boxing in Spud's Gym. Where are you watching this event tomorrow?
I'll go near the local at Pittwater RSL. Nice and cold. You know what I love going there? I love the air conditioning. I love how it just falls on you like a blanket.
And it's a Zoo win for you, no doubt.
Yeah, I think Zoo. I think I'll go the distance, but yeah, I'm a bit worried about you know, the other guy, Harrison. He's got a straight right, and he can hit hard. But I'll tell you what, Zoo is one of the best.
30 seconds left here in the knock-on effect New South Wales Cup. We're heading quickly towards the first of the NRL games. Same clubs, Roosters, Warriors to get us going. And Dolphins, Raiders, Storm, Bulldogs. But this man, Tane Tuapeki, has shown us some more of his skill today. Try scorer, asking plenty of questions of the defence. Lussick to Volkman, he's good as well. And just closing this one out by going out on the full. Inconsequential largely. Time expires in the background, and the Warriors, too good for the Sydney Roosters in the New South Wales Cup. They score 5 tries to 4 and win it 30 points to 18. The Warriors 2-0 after beating the Knights, and now the Roosters in really draining conditions. A warm afternoon in Sydney, but Coach Slade Griffin will be delighted with the way that his men have started the New South Wales Cup campaign.